All right, here we are again. Oh, so we just went through that. And let's go do a quick review of what we just did up to now of play. First of all, it's highly conserved across mammals. So that's the reason that's important is that play is something that's just not for humans. So that if we want to understand play in humans, since other mammals engage in it, we can learn something about the neurological basis of play, the functions of play, the importance of play. We can learn about this by studying non-human mammals because it is so highly conserved. It's important across cognitive, social, and emotional domains. Now, having said that, I mean it's not like it's as important as say eating or drinking in terms of individual survival or having sex in terms of species survival. So if you don't eat and you don't drink, yeah, you're going to die eventually. That's just a fact. If you don't play, you're going to still survive, but you're going to be somewhat compromised at cognitive levels, social levels, as well as emotional levels. So that's what I'm saying. It is important, and we think it probably just gives you an added edge, an added advantage over, say, those who don't play. In the rat, which is our favorite critter to look at, play is easy to quantify, and they are a real playful bunch. I mean, as species go, rats are ridiculously playful. It follows this clear ontogenetic pattern, which suggests that it is kind of hardwired into our development. So it follows this nice developmental sequence. Peaks right around the mid-juvenile period, and then when you start getting into puberty, start becoming an adult, play slowly goes away. And sometimes it goes away completely, but you still have that little bit of playfulness often in you. And when you get older, it's very sensitive to motivational state. Okay, so now let's move on because we're interested in the happy brain, right? And the happy brain and pleasure associated with play. So how do we quantify that? I mean, how do you look at a rat playing and say, hey, was that fun? Does the rat say, yeah, that was great, can I do it again? No. We need a way to objectively quantify this, and there are really three ways that we can do this. First of all, this was from a while ago. I don't know whether you guys have ever been on one of these. It's a big trampoline. You just blow it up. And my family and I were on a vacation. When I was on a sabbatical, and yeah, this is it. So I was going to play this, and I was like, oh yeah, that's fun. Okay, so play is definitely fun, but how do we address that? How do we look at this, say in a rat? Oh, I don't have the sound on this. Oh well, that's okay. First of all, we want to know, will they work for it? Okay, so will a rat do things? Will they do an operant response, or will they do something to work when the goal is play? Will they return to a place where they played? Will they want to go back to where they played? Do they associate a certain environment with play? So, like for example, this. I mean, this would be great. I mean, this is a place that they would probably love to go back to over and over and over again. And finally, do they show overt displays of positive affect? Okay, so first of all, will they work for play? Now, we're going to talk more about this in class on Tuesday, because when we get to talking about the motivational aspect of play and the different neural systems involved in that, we're going to talk about this in more detail. But the basic gist of this is that you have a rat here, and there's a door, there's a light. This is an operant chamber. There's two levers, an active lever and an inactive lever. So when the light comes on, if the rat presses this lever, the door opens and they can play for a very short period of time, maybe about 2 minutes. And then they put them back, they separate them again, and then the whole thing starts over again. They could, light comes on, they press the active lever, door opens, they can play. If they press the inactive lever, nothing happens. So the animal has to learn that this is the lever that's going to do it, okay? And they do learn that. So here you can see this is lever presses for the active lever and the inactive lever. So this was after they had learned it. So this was probably about after a week of training on this. And you also see that it's sensitive to motivational state. Much like in the last video, when we saw that the amount of actual play, the pinning, was sensitive to the motivational state. So the longer they were isolated, the more they pinned each other. They're also more willing to press the lever to get play. So here's 4 hours, here's 24 hours. So it is sensitive to motivational state. So again, we're going to talk much more about this later on Tuesday in class. I have a video that does show this, very quick video that will show this. Okay, so do they prefer to return to where they play? This is using a procedure called conditioned place preference. So what's happening here is you have this 3-chambered box. We have a neutral chamber in the middle. I think we talked about this with dopamine earlier. And we have this chamber. You can see it's got all stripes. And the floor is a slightly different texture. And then here we have a dark wall with a slightly different texture. So we have 2 unique compartments that the animal is able to differentiate. So the animal is able to know the difference between what it sees here and what it sees here. So if we, let's say, for the sake of argument, make this the social compartment, and then we make this the non-social compartment. So over multiple days, we take these animals and say, okay, while you're here, you're going to play. So you put them with another rat, you let them play. When they're on this side, they don't play. And you do this for 5-6 days. And then after doing that, you test them without another rat. You put them in the middle here. Where we at? There we go. You put them in here. You open both doors, both sides, and you simply ask the rat, where do you want to go? Do you want to go over here or do you want to go over there? If they found this pleasurable, they're going to prefer to be over here because this is the playground. This is like going to Chuck E. Cheese's. Having a good time. Okay? And that's what they do. So this is time spent in the social compartment. Again, this is on the test day. There's no other rat in there. Time spent in the social compartment is significantly higher than the time they spend in the non-social compartment. Okay? Okay, the last thing is, do they show overt displays of positive affect? And what I would suggest you do, actually what I might do is I might just stop this recording for now. And there is going to be a link in between this file, this video, and the next one of this. And why don't you, it's about 3 minutes. It's actually an advertisement for Washington State University. But this talks a little bit about not only the importance of play, but they have some really good examples of how a rat displays positive affect using ultrasonic vocalizations. Okay, so stop this, go to the next link, go to the link, click this, watch the video, and then come back to the third pre-recorded lecture. All right.